Welcome back to another video. XLM to the moon. Well, $2, maybe three. Now, I want to talk about a few things, and one of them will be obviously midterm. We'll zoom into the short term, and then we'll touch on the larger pattern. Why not? Um, so, does this look like the beginning of a move up? Just take a look at it in your mind. Just at first glance, does it look like something that's about to move up? Right? That's the whole point. According to my analysis, it's about to move up, right? Now, the reason why it's taking so long to get started is because, well, a lot of people have lost hope in XLM. Being the suppressed coin it has been, it's almost like nobody cares. But that's the funny thing about when nobody cares, that's when things happen. And I believe that the time is now to get in. If you don't get in, you'll miss out on percentage gains. So somebody commented, why are you all caught up on XLM? Well, percentage gain. A lot of coins have already run halfway to where they're going. Maybe not halfway, maybe a third. XLM hasn't done much at all, right? So percentage gains, 3,000% expected from this point, right? Versus Bitcoin going to 289,000 roughly, only going to achieve maybe 1,500%. I can't remember if that's measured from the low. Uh, yeah, I'd have to. But from current levels, if it's 1,500, it doesn't matter how the numbers look unless you own it, and that's different, right? But and you own a lot of them. But the point is that percentage gain for a trader, if you're just getting in, that type of thing, yeah, 3,000% trumps 1,500%. So it's the percentage gain from a suppressed coin that I want to capture I want to capture that because it's a bubble phase, right? We're in a bubble. It is. So which one's going to move the most? I believe this one, from what I can tell, given my analysis, given that it's got a long-term pattern and I can gauge it much better than something that came out in 2020, right? It's got a good pattern. Anything that came out early has a good pattern. And if you haven't figured it out by now, then you won't figure it out. In terms of the other coins, I might start touching on them after this run, right? They might give me, well, I'll definitely have more of a gauge on other coins after this run. But for now, I'm dealing with XLM, right? And plus, it's a long-term favorite of the followers of my work. So I've already talked about the many forms of inverse head and shoulders pattern going on here, right? You've got three of them. You've got a large one, right? And you've got a medium one, and you've got that small one that we got into. So you got three inverse head and shoulders patterns, right? This is very indicative of that bearishness shifting slowly into mega bullishness. Mega, right? It's going to explode. That's why I say I give videos titles like price explosion, moonshot. That these things are going to happen because the pattern suggests it, the waves suggest it, the market is moving up, the whole market's moving up. This is just going to happen. So, like, I believe it fully. I don't have a doubt, right? And I like to trade it. I don't want to own it yet. I will own it once we get to the point where it's actually going to be in a mega bull market. This is not a mega bull market, it's just a mega price explosion in percentage gains. So, in terms of, okay, medium term, let's go down to the smaller degree, right? we'll start with the 15-minute chart. So this is the small inverse head and shoulders pattern, right? So we've had two confirmations. One, the break of the wave D down here, right? We had a small wave 1, A, B, C, D, E, right? On the Bybit exchange, it went down lower. It didn't break the low. Happened to use that particular platform myself. In Australia, it still provides quite a bit of leverage, so why not? Okay, so after that, we move up. We get a wave 1, right? So I count it like this because of the Bybit exchange, but the patterns at the top end suggest that this is the likely scenario. So if we go to the 5-minute chart, we've had confirmation 1, we've had confirmation 2. So sorry, I'll just come back a bit. For confirmation 2, just to remind you, and I've labeled the E wave, right? E wave was 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E for wave 4. So this is where wave 5 started of wave E. Look how it got weaker. It barely broke the low below the previous corrective wave, which it has to do. It barely tiny dipped below it. That was enough because it had been suppressed long enough. So it just needed to complete the pattern because there's no such thing as truncation. Elliott Wave sucks. And then it started to slowly grind higher. Because of its suppressed nature, it wasn't just going to go slingshotting, right? And plus it follows Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, although it moves, this pattern here, the 1-2 pattern, the corrective portion is part of its impulsive portion. For now, that's important, right? So then we had a 1 ABC, wave 2 down here. And then I count the Bybit scam wick or whatever the hell you call it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Some wicks I count them, some I don't. But even in saying that myself, it's still very dependent on the correction that follows later, right? So once we broke, the start of wave 5 of wave E, right? There's two levels now that it was stuck between, right? It's stuck between the confirmation level, break of wave D, and stuck between confirming of a break of the start of wave 5 for wave E. So it's kind of like in this area. That's why you saw price action sort of hang around there, right? And that's sort of like symmetry as well, because you've got like this time frame where it went down, which was, if we measure it, it was about 10 days, right? So 10 days from when it bottomed, we're at eight days. 10 days will be, on tomorrow. Well, actually, maybe not. Hang on. Sunday, right? It could be like a Monday thing, right? Or not. It doesn't have to be. Why? Well, look at the angle of the neckline. See how it's tilted to the upside, and when it broke this downward sloping trend line. So there's a bit of energy. There's a bit of how can I say it? Momentum, a momentum shift that made the head and shoulders tilt to the left is because the right side is stronger. That's a good sign, right? I like that better than when it's just a flat line. I don't like the flat line ones as much. In this scenario, it's perfect. So there's a range of things. Now, if we move closer to the current pattern, right, the 5-minute chart. So I would suggest that wave 1 confirmed the first confirmation. We had an A, B, C, D, E. previously thought this was the E, but looking at what happened after, I'd say this is the E here. So new support 0.1144, sorry, 0.114396, right? So what is this pattern here that's happening right now? So what I think this is basically like this. A wave 1 and a wave A, B, C, and half a wave D. Right now, wave Ds are usually breakout waves. I like to say that a lot. You'll notice because I observe the market. I watch markets for fun, like watching grass grow or paint dry. I love observing, just not even when it's doing nothing. I just love to sit there and watch them. That's the kind of that's the reason why I made AriasWave, because I can do that and enjoy it because I'm just so fascinated since quite a while ago, right? So what I think is going on here is potentially an A, B, C, D, E, and then wave D will complete when it breaks up higher and then come back down, retest, and move in a third of a third wave, right? So in other words, if we have this, what we have right now, we're going to see a wave B, a wave C, and then and that'll be wave D, right? And then another wave E to, I don't know, come back and retest perhaps. And then that'll be the end of just a minor wave 2, right? And this type of continuous chop will last, like I said, that little bit longer. May not go to Sunday, might be tomorrow. It's not the point. The point is that the pattern, when it evolves, it ends up completing the corrective portion, and then it's ready to rock. It's ready to move up. So given this type of thing, like if I play devil's advocate all the time. So is there anything that could be corrective about this? Well, it broke the start of wave 5, so no. But then I still check anyway, and no, there's nothing. So to me, it's a very clear sign that it's going to move higher. So that there is enough for me to be calm and patient and wait, because this is going to $2, right? And you know, it's in line with a lot of other coins that are moving up in the Bitcoin, which is probably going to go to 289,000, right? Anyway, so that's the small degree. Now, before I move to the larger degree, I just want to recap on this pattern here. The beginning of a trend, right? You have a wave 1, you have an A, B, C, and see how this is a large D wave, right? You have an A, a B, a C. So like I've said before, we're trading this portion now. But what happens after is we get a big wave E decline, right? So just remember that in your mind for a split second, and we go to the daily chart. Now, if we go to the daily chart to begin with, because it might not be enough, but it might. Hang on. All right. So think about that same scenario once again with a wave 1, an A, a B, a C, and then that large D wave, which we are trading within right now. Okay, so you could see the type of thing that is going to happen because these repeat at all degrees 100%. That's what AriasWave is based upon. Once we see that at a predicted time frame of August, maybe even September, maybe even October, we're going to see a move down that will probably wipe out exactly what we're just doing right now, or might even go lower, right? You saw, I explained to you already at the small degree what happened, and also with the different exchange on Bybit, it went even lower. So we don't know that. It's going to be extremely hard to know that. You can't know that until it happens. But given that this is a guide, we will see a pump and a dump across the board in every market, right? This is a bubble phase, right? So this is across the stock markets, it's across cryptos, right? And this is part of my long-term understanding with 8, 9 years experience of reading the waves is that this is going to happen. It's going to be bad, it's going to be shit, but it's an opportunity to make profits, wait for a dump, and rebuy at cheaper prices. That's a good deal. That's a sweet deal. And then you're going to get a wave 3 mega bull market. It's going to be a mega bull market. See this first wave here, 55,000%? Well, it'll do at least that. At least that. I'm not going to say anything else. So, yeah, so that's basically in a nutshell what's going on with a little bit of extra added on top, right? I always said to myself, if I don't know when to get out, why would I buy this? I will just be confused the whole time and it'll just distract me. But if I know roughly the deal here, which is a pattern that repeats, then why would I worry so much, especially after I've made a good amount of profit? I wouldn't risk it all the next time, would I? But this is the thing, you just have a guide, right? I'm not saying that I have a magic crystal ball. It's just a freaking repeating pattern. Like, what a repeating pattern is? Like, that's what it is. That's what I use it to make money. Like, it's really cool. It's really fun. And I teach it. But, why wouldn't you understand that? It's not hard, right? Um, there's no reason for me to be caught up in XLM. I'm not. It's just a pattern. And all of these markets are practically following the same damn pattern. I'm just trying to trade a pattern that is easily identifiable given the structure. And this structure has gone on for so long that it has the most amount of clues. Whereas other structures, they move they've moved a lot faster and they don't have the craziest amount of clues, right? That may change in the future, but it's logic. It's a logical thing. Even though markets are not logical, that's my logic. I just choose something that I believe will produce a result and I will leverage up and take that profit. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.